Hi everyone, we're back and I'm here with Margi Duncan with the Arias Group. How are you today?
Hi, Dena. I'm good.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Tell me a little bit about yourself before we dive into the business.
So I've spent the last 30 years helping young families with their mortgage issues that they have, different things. People can't get a loan, and I would help them, do that. And I also built homes for people that could not get into homes because there were no homes, kind of like what's going on right now. And so I came across this idea is what do you need to do to make this better? And so I started teaching, because why do people make financial problems? Not because they want to, right? It's not because they go out and go, oh, I'm just going to mess up my credit. No, it's because they don't understand the rules. How do you play the game if you don't know the rules, right?
Absolutely.
So I decided, well, I'm going to go out and teach these people the rules. And so that's what I've been doing for the last 13 years, is teaching people the rules of the financial game.
Okay. And I mean, I know what you do and all the different things you do, but what does that entail? Where do you start with a client,
So I start by just asking them basic questions. Hey, what do you know about money and how it works? And most of them just look at me with this blank stare. What do you mean? Well, a lot of times people don't understand that credit is a part of knowing about money and how it works. So you start with their credit. You start with their financial plan and where they are right now and how much they understand about where they are right now. A lot of times people don't know where to start. They don't, like it says in our commercial, pull out that drawer, pull out all the dirty laundry. Let's just start with the basics. What do we have to work with? And then we sit down and we look at their credit. We fix that for free. We look at do they want to get in a house? Do they need to refinance their house? We look at their life insurance, because a lot of times people are underinsured, or maybe they don't have any at all because they don't really understand it or they don't believe in it. Then we look at their investments. Hey, what are you doing outside of your job? I know you have a 401k, most people do, but if they don't, or if they are not going to reach their financial goals, then we look at that too. So how do you know unless you have that plan? So I guess the main thing we do is we do a free financial plan for people. A lot of times people won't go to a financial planner or a financial advisor because it costs money and they can't afford it. But there's no reason not to come to us because it's free.
Yeah, and I've had a couple of clients that's kind of I didn't even know what to do with them, in the sense of getting them over the hump of being even approved for a loan. So it does really start with the credit, because they look at, of course, how much you make, but it's your, credit score really matters on what you can accomplish. What kind of, you get better rates if you have better credit scores. Right. You get all kinds of stuff. So even if you have the money, if your credit score is not there, sometimes you don't qualify for the programs. You don't qualify for all the things that the government can assist you with because of your credit, So even if it's, vice versa, if you are financially not able to do it, but one of the government loans, if you don't have the good credit, you can't get it. And then if you are financially stable enough to buy the home on your own, and your credit's bad, you won't get approved for the loan. So it's just, it's the basis of American life is your credit.
I was talking to a nurse this morning, and she didn't think she could buy a house. And she has good salary, and credit's not bad, and she was going to go get into another apartment. I said, no, wait, meet with me. I gave her my card. I was like, it's free, and I'll put you in a house. There's no reason for you to pay a $2,000 a month rent on an apartment when you can pay $1,500 for a house.
Absolutely. I think that's the biggest misnomer, as far as people, I can't afford a house. And it's you'd be surprised, with you paying, some of these people are paying upwards of $3,000 for apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment. It's it's a beautiful apartment. It's a great building that you live in, but, you could also put that money towards a mortgage, especially take advantage of these low interest rates right now. They're hiking up, They are, but not anywhere near where it would still be. I mean, even I always go back to 2018. In 2018, I mean, some of my clients were paying 5.25. So we're still in the threes. I mean, some people can still get in the twos depending, but I mean, we're still in the threes, which is still a great interest rate to get in and buy a home. But I think more than just the mortgages, I think what you do with helping plan like that full picture, of financial health, I would say, for a family is really important. So what separates your company from other companies?
Well, I think we're not about the paycheck. Yes, we do have to make money like every other company, but because we practice what we preach, most of us are debt-free and we have good credit ourselves, so we don't have to go and into a client's home and go, oh, I have to make this sell because I have to pay my bills. No. It's all about the client. The client is first come. We don't make the same high commissions like all other financial planners. We don't charge brokerage fees. We are truly a service financial advisor, financial coach, if you will. The client always comes first, and a lot of what we do is free.
So, I mean, and I think that's the key, right? That it's free and you can help people. I mean, like, what is it about that family's life that you really help change for them?
I will give you an example. So I just closed on a family that had they were paying about $2,500 every month in debt with their mortgage, and their interest rate on their mortgage was 8.5%, go figure. They didn't know they could do a refinance. They were paying 15% on a piece of land, and then they had all these credit cards, 22, 23, 24%. And together, they could never get over that hump because it was just every month, everything they brought in would go to pay off the bills. So he never really could. He didn't have a 401k. He's a sole proprietor, so he hadn't started his own Roth IRA and didn't have life insurance, didn't have, was just living day to day. And so we actually sat down with them as a training appointment for one of my agents, and we were able to pay off all of his debt, bring his mortgage down over $1,000, pay off all of his debt, give him money back. He took money out of his house, so he walked away with $25,000, paid off all his debt, and now his mortgage is only $564. So that is huge.
That is huge.
I mean, he was so excited and sending us a lot of referrals. So this is what we do for families, that he would have just kept going the same way and never had his retirement in place, and he opened his retirement.
I think some of the things you say about life insurance are really funny to me. I mean, it's a good thing to have, and it's not a funny subject. That's not what I mean by any means, but I think some of the stories that she tells sometimes about people that don't want, life insurance and things like that, it's really interesting. I mean, you should definitely have that to protect yourself and your family, but really, it's something that a lot of people don't have, and I find that really crazy. So tell me a little bit about, I know you say something with husbands and things like that. It's
one of the stories is I tell them the toaster story. I go, you're like a toaster. You have this magic toaster, and every month $4,000 pops out of that magic toaster. And they're like, yeah, I want that magic toaster. And I said, you would protect that toaster, you would make sure nothing happened to it, nobody would steal it. They're like, yeah. I go, you might even put some insurance on it, right? To make sure if somebody stole it or it broke, you could get another one. They're like, yeah. I go, you're the toaster, my friend. And they're like, ooh, I get it now. So life insurance, people don't understand, but life insurance is actually protection on a salary that comes into the household home. And if you don't have $500,000 or $1 million in your investments in your retirement account, then you have to have life insurance. And the thing is, people will go spend $300 on cable a month, and they'll spend $250 on their car insurance, but they won't spend $80 on life insurance, really? Because they think it's not that important. And so that's what just gets me in the heart, because a lot of times my clients, the wives don't work. And so what would happen to them if that salary went away? They would be in a mess.
Yeah.
And so I spend a lot, and I tell them, I go, it's not for my paycheck. I go, I don't really make that much money on selling one piece of life insurance. I go, what is important to me is that your life doesn't change if something happens to your husband. something happens to him, how are you going to make the house payment? How are you going to pay for your children to eat?
And I know that like a lot of people have it through their companies and stuff, but also having it separately through, your own individual is also important, right?
Well, company insurance is good, but it's not really your policy. You get a certificate, it's a group policy, and they can change it at any time. It's a benefit that you get for working for that company. The minute you leave, you have no more life insurance. The minute they decide it's too expensive, they can take it away. It's not your policy.
Isn't there's some that you can roll that you do have? I mean, if you have it with a company. I mean, there are some that you can roll into yourself as well. What's the difference with those? I know I've heard that before.
There are some of the larger companies do have those, but they're few and far between, and they're very, very expensive. Like once the company stops, paying for the big bulk, it's very expensive. It's kind of like when you leave the company, you can pay for the health insurance. Nobody ever gets it because it's just too
Cobra,
expensive.
yeah.
It's too expensive.
Yeah, Cobra. It's useful for that intermittent time that you can, use it just to have it, but definitely go and get it assessed and get better health insurance after that, because it does become really expensive. So tell me a little bit more about, when the process starts with you come in, you have them, and you kind of have them bring everything with them to the table, bring out all the bad stuff, all the dirty laundry, all that stuff, and then you can help them fix everything, get their life in order, get their credit repaired, do all that stuff, to helping them in the end, even if, it doesn't necessarily buy a home, it can be getting a loan, it can be anything really. But if their end goal is to buy a home, you can get them there.
Well, we teach the financial concepts, and that's huge because a lot of people don't understand the financial concepts. Like, I sit down with my clients and I go, okay, well, you can make from 9 to 15% on this, and they're like, where? And they don't believe me.
And investments.
And it's the investments, it's the retirement, and our company gives up a lot of our money that we make so that they can get those kind of rates. Other companies, you only get those kind of rates if you put big amounts of money down. And with ours, as little as $25 a month, they can start. So
wow.
Everybody can do it.
Yeah, anybody can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you're right. people pay $180 for a gym membership, Mm-hmm. They're part of all these great gyms and all these things, and they don't want to just spend $50, $80 on life insurance or cut out one dinner a week, or going out to lunch every day, or just simple things that you could probably do to save that money and make your life whole, your family's life whole. Or even if you're not married, just as an individual, a single person, you need it on yourself, it's just.
And that's why you told me, what sets us apart from other companies, that is the thing, is our plan. Because people don't understand and they don't value. The reason people don't have life insurance or retirement outside their company is because they don't see the value. Once we do that plan for them and we show them in black and white how easy it is to attain their financial goals, then they see the value and then they do it. But until they see that plan in black and white, they don't do it.
Yeah, I know. I've brought a couple of families to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you've really helped them get across the finish line, because it was from starting from the credit, to get them to their financial goals. Mm-hmm. But it took a year, but you have to have patience, and that was someone that was in a really bad situation. So to bring them back, and then if you've helped another client do that to end up buying their dream custom build home,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it doesn't matter if you're thinking of buying a $100,000 house, or if you're thinking of buying a $1 million house. Everybody needs to have that financial freedom. And I think it starts with getting out of debt, getting out of your credit card debt, making a plan at least for that. So it's not just even the life insurance, it's not any of those things. It's also just making a plan to get yourself stable enough to be able to do all the things you want. And it might not even be buying a house. It just be making a dream vacation. Mm-hmm. It might just be anything like that you've always wanted to do, that you just will never find the financial freedom to do, because you're constantly chasing yourself basically, and you're running in circles just trying to cover your expenses, your monthly expenses.
It's like a GPS. So how do you get to, let's say if you're going from Houston to Dallas without a GPS? If you don't, let's say there's twists and turns and you have to go this way or that way, and you have no GPS, you're going to spend a lot of time making mistakes. And that's what people do every day. My office is in the Heights, and I sit looking out at the freeway, and I see all these cars go by every day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they need a GPS. They need a financial GPS. Because so many people need to know that stuff, and they don't even know where to start. And that's why we do it for free. So they don't have to pay. They can come. There's no excuse.
Yep. No excuses. I think we all need to hear that. There's no excuses to not call Margi and get some help. Or just have her look at your stuff. Maybe you don't need the help. Maybe you have good credit. Maybe you have all that stuff. But just get information. It never hurts to get information to help yourself and see what else you could be doing to have complete financial freedom. Or, it's not even financial freedom, just to be stable, And sometimes it's not that you have a ton of debt or something, but maybe there's things out there that you don't know about that you could be investing in and making more money on the money that you're saving in a blank savings account or something over there.
That's key, because even people that think they have it all set up, like we have a client I just helped roll some money, and they thought everything was on track, and it was. They had, they did everything right. They had their life insurance, they had their investments, they had already retired, but I took a look at their portfolio, and I was like, why are you not double digiting? And they were like, we don't know. We don't even know what that means. And so I showed them what I could do for them. And so we're going to end up rolling over $1 million, all because, they asked some questions. They came into my office, not even for that. They came in to ask me questions about a lake lot and doing a loan on that. So it just you never know. But it's always good to get a second opinion, because if they had been in the right places, I would have said, this is good, stay there, that's doing great. I don't move stuff if it's doing well, leave it there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if it's not, and they could double their money, why not?
So if you have any financial questions and you're looking for, some information, definitely give Margi a call so she can offer you that free consultation for you. How do they get a hold of you, Margi?
They can reach me by my cell phone, 713-545-6830. That's directly to me, and I will call them back and set an appointment.
Do you have a website or something where they can find more information?
The website is being worked on at this time.
Okay, perfect. Well, give Margi a call as soon as you have any questions or anything. You can also reach out to me. I can get you to Margi. But thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.